All right, yeah, thank you guys. I think just obviously real excited about the big win. It was huge for our guys. We talked about sending these seniors off as winners, and we were able to do that not only tonight, but also guaranteeing a winning season overall this year, and then also a winning season in ACC play. It's a huge accomplishment for these guys, and particularly these seniors, to stick with us this year. And it had to been tough. It was tough on these guys. And a lot of them. Haven't played as much as they probably would have liked tonight. We were able to get a lot of those seniors into action tonight and make some plays, and which was awesome to see. So, the joy on their faces in that locker room right there makes it all worthwhile. So, again, just really proud of them. These games are close. Again, it came down to the wire. Last possession, our defense held. That was a huge goal line stand there. They had the ball on the 3-yard line. They went backwards. We were able to get that ball back and then offensively take off, 5, almost 6 minutes and score a touchdown. That's how you win games, and it was a great team effort.
Coach, besides that big run Hawk had in the first half, he really opened up the floodgates in the second half. What was the difference for him, do you think?
Well, I think in the first half we were number one. Our offensive line felt really good coming into the night. They felt they wanted to put it on them guys, run the ball behind us. That's kind of their mentality. And we kept hitting some big plays in the passing game in the first half, so we didn't really get the running game going as much, and I think, which we'll take those big passing plays. But then in the second half, the way the game was going, we felt like we needed to grind it out a little bit more, get the ball in his hands and allow him to run and, try to get some of that clock off. It felt like that third quarter lasted forever. A lot of scoring back and forth, but it was good to get the running game going again. Last week was our worst running performance all season, and to get it going back today. But it was good overall today too. We had big plays in the passing game also.
Do you have any update on Russ East?
No, we'll get more tomorrow. Some sort of lower leg injury. Probably got rolled up there on that big play they had. So we'll evaluate and see about tomorrow.
You mentioned finishing the ACC with a winning record in league play. Obviously, you guys were picked last. Now that the ACC schedule portion is over, how does it feel to get out of there with a winning record?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You'd love to win it. Clemson right now is riding high, and we're finishing second on our side, which was great. 5-3, and it's a tough league. My first time going through this league, it's tough. It's like every game, you got to play your best ball. You got to really focus every single play. A lot of these games come down to the end. Who's going to make the play at the end? Who's going to make the least amount of mistakes? We learned a lot this year as coaches, I think, and also as players of this team, of how, when you prepare well, you go out and execute, and you're focused, and you'll make plays. So it's a great learning experience, but while we're doing it, we won a lot of games. And, the resiliency that our club showed this year, I think, was probably one thing that stands out. If you look at the season and you look at individual games, I think that's probably the biggest thing that we're proud about.
Coach, I know you guys still got games to play this year,
Yeah.
but I imagine the thought of having Javion so young and Hassan so young and two guys, playmakers who are underclassmen, I guess, I imagine that's a pretty exciting feeling for the coaches.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a lot of good skill players that'll be coming back, and a lot of production. When you look at both running backs, when you look at Des Fitzpatrick and Tutu and Cunningham and Ford, there's a lot of guys that are making plays, and it's fun. It's going to be fun for us. We still got a couple of games left, but it'll be fun in the offseason to continue to grow and develop these guys, and also take some of the young guys and continue to develop in them. We got to create a lot more depth. That's the one thing that we talked about this year, that we didn't have a ton of depth. And that's really both sides of the ball. So, but those guys are playmakers. It's fun to watch them play. They perform. They have fun doing it. And, we're excited about those guys.
Coach, when you looked at the roster when you first got here, did you expect to have the type of offensive production that you guys have been able to have this season?
You always expect it. That's what we want. We want to be an explosive offense. With so many question marks, so it's kind of hard to answer that question because you didn't really know what you're going to have. Offensive line was the biggest question mark. Those guys have played really, really good this year. Coach Lefford and those guys up front have done a great job. The tight ends, we had one scholarship tight end when we got here, so we've kind of makeshift some guys and moved some guys around. They played great this year because of the amount of blocks they have to make in the running and passing game, and they've gotten involved in catching touchdowns tonight. We have a couple more tonight, so you just don't know, And then a lot of it comes back to the quarterback play. How well is your quarterback going to play? And you start Puma pass the first couple of games. Excuse me. And then you know, he goes down at Cunningham, then you got to play Devin Conley. So we played 3 quarterbacks all along this whole thing. All the while, we put up big numbers. Coach Ponce deserves a lot of credit. Him and Coach Spear, the GA, they work with those quarterbacks every day, do a great job with those guys, and give them confidence to make plays. And so we've got great quarterback play. So when you have that, you're gonna be able to put up some big numbers, and I think that's what we've been able to do. And the fact that we can run and throw, I think that puts pressure on defenses that enables us to score a lot of points.
You've had a lot of games this season that have gotten into the fourth quarter, just like this one. At the first game of the season, you said that any more mistakes or games like that, you might end up looking like Tim Sullivan.
Yeah.
How many more games do you think before, like this one, you start looking like Tim Sullivan?
Man, I feel like all of them are like this. I mean, it seemed like every single one, even NC State last week, they were going down and trying to score at the end. You're thinking, all right, get the hands team ready again. I told Rocco, well, we got to check on see, you know, because we've had our hands team out there. I think we've tried to get 11 onside kicks. Now, that's got to be close to a record of the season. I've never had that. I'd rather be that way than us trying to get the onside kick, you know. So, yeah, it's. I call my mom after every game, and she tells me every game, quit doing that. You know, I'm like, well, I don't want to do it. You know, it's just the way it happens. And I think because you're playing a lot of teams, it's very competitive. You know, we know how the ACC is this year. I mean, Clemson's kind of standing above everyone else, but everybody else is kind of right there. They're all close games, and so you got to battle. You got to fight your way to find ways to win games, and it's part of football. It's going to come down to the wire.
You guys got a big lead, and it's not the first time you guys had a big lead, but have had to hang on in the end. What kind of message do you guys share with your defense, to keep them in a positive mindset when the other teams are coming back?
Well, it was hard in that third quarter to do that. They kept scoring. You know, it's just the mentality of play the next play, no matter what happened. You know, play the next play, and it's sometimes hard to do. You know, they scored 2 plays, and then they come back, and next, score another drive really quickly. So we have to just forget about it. We have to get in our gaps. We have to make the plays. You know, we just got to continue to get better. I think that's the bottom line. And you know, we got a long ways to go in that regard. We're not where we need to be, and they know that. And they're working hard at it, the players and the coaches. And you know, despite that, you know, we still won, our share of our games. So that's the good thing. You know, we come in and make corrections tomorrow and try to get better.
You feel like they got tired in that second half? Because it seemed like it just, as they scored, it just kind of kept going and going.
I don't think so. I don't think it was fatigue. You know, I think it's just doing your job is the bottom line. I think it's, being in your gap, being where you're supposed to be, and I think that's the bottom line. And making plays when you're trying to make a play, you got to make tackles. It seemed like we missed some tackles in those few drives there. You know, you got to make some tackles. You got to fit it right. So, we'll go back and watch the film, but I'm assuming that's probably what it was. It wasn't fatigue. The guys, they're feeling good.
You guys have won these type of games, shootouts anyway, but at some point, does this become a concern a little bit about the way the defense is tackling your performance second?
Well, yeah. I mean, we never like it, whether we're winning or losing. We never like the way we're tackling if we're missing tackles and if we're not fitting right. And we got to do a lot better job with that. We don't like coming down and having these close games. Because we had a big lead, 22 points, and the next thing you know, they're right back in it. But our defense, they turned the ball over. We turned the ball over, and they held them. We got the ball right back, and then they drive down to the 3-yard line, and we held them. So, it seems like our defense is making the plays when they need to, even though they've given up a lot of plays and points, but they are still making those plays when we need to.
Coach Jordan, before the year, Jordan looked like he could be a guy who could be a playmaker for you. Obviously some off the field things. Now, what can something like that do for him on senior day with a couple games left?
He was very appreciative of it, and I appreciate him as well. He's worked his tail off. He's not been any kind of a problem or issue for us since we've been here. All he's done is work. He didn't complain whenever he wasn't getting his number called as much. Ford's kind of been getting a lot of the things going on to him, but he hadn't complained. And tonight I told him that was for you, man, on senior day, and he was excited. And we've been working on that play all year. Really, that's the first time we've hit it, and it was just a good execution. And I'm happy for him now. He'll forever remember that his senior day catching that touchdown pass. And I love creating memories for these guys, and they'll carry on forever.
Javion had that big play, and then a little bit of a celebration in the end zone. What was your message to him when he came off the field?
Well, it wasn't just him; it was everybody. Yeah. And I asked him, have they seen our kickoff team? We don't need to back up 15 yards. We got a hard enough time covering when we're where we're supposed to be. So we don't like that. Those guys, they called it on Hawkins because he scored, but he said it was really the whole offense. Yeah. And so they're celebrating, they're happy. I want them to have fun. We can't get penalties, but I want them to have fun and celebrate. That's what it's all about. These guys work too hard. not to celebrate, but we can't have the penalties. They just gotta make that right there, come to the sideline, and take the little picture thing, whatever they were doing on the sideline.
Last two.
Coach, this game just ended, but the fans started chanting, beat UK. As a coach, how much are you looking forward to being a part of that rivalry next weekend?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do is celebrate this win. I'm gonna celebrate this win this evening. You don't get much time to celebrate. It's 7:30 or whatever it is now, almost 8, and I'm gonna go to bed tonight as a winner, beating Syracuse. We'll worry about Kentucky tomorrow, but we're excited about it. That's gonna be my first one for this next week, and I know our guys will be excited about it. Coming to practice on Sunday, making our corrections, and we're looking forward to the game next Saturday.
Coach, you hinted on it early when you started talking, but just seniors have kind of revitalized this program. Just how important was it for you to help this team get this win for those guys?
Yeah, it's real important. That's all we've talked about this week. We talked about sending these seniors out as winners, and not and I talked to them last night. A lot of these guys, are not regular players. It was like 27 of them out there tonight, and there's probably 10 or 12 that kind of contribute a lot, but it doesn't matter because they contributed so much more than maybe just on the field. It's every day in this building and in the weight room and in meeting rooms and how they carry themselves, and so they meant so much to this program this last year and how they've, like I mentioned, when in the locker room on that December when I showed up and met them for the first time to where they are right now, and the joy in their face means the world to me, and they'll forever be remembered as winners. And I think that's extremely important for these guys as they move forward in life and when they come back and visit us several years from now. And we'll talk about, nights like tonight. And so I'm excited for those guys, and they're real appreciative. And so it goes a long way, and it's awesome to send them out as winners. All right, thank you guys.